In southwestern Sydney, we're fortunate to have a dedicated and enthusiastic staff who come to work every day with a shared passion for providing high-quality health care. We're now going to hear one of the inspirational stories of our staff members, a Bowral and District Hospital nurse, Belinda Sidman, who overcame serious injury and disability to fulfil her dreams of becoming a nurse and a water skiing champion. Earlier this year, Belinda competed in the World Disabled Water Ski Championships in Italy, where she was awarded a bronze medal. I'd like to congratulate Belinda on her efforts, and we'd love to hear your story.
Firstly, I'd like to thank you for asking me to speak here today. It's a privilege and I feel honoured. July 1991, at the age of 16, I was the only survivor in a major motor vehicle accident that was a result from drink driving and speeding. Two of my friends died at the scene and I was found in the back seat of the car, unconscious with an unreportable blood pressure. It took the rescue crew over 2 hours to free me from the car. Once I was freed, I was transferred to Westmead Hospital via a care flight helicopter. On arrival to Westmead Hospital, I was taken to theatre where a team of surgeons operated on me for 16 hours straight. My orthopaedic injuries included a fracture of the right humerus, a fracture dislocation of the right elbow, a fracture of the right wrist, a divided extensor tendon to the right index finger, a complex fracture of the pelvis, a degloving injury to the right foot, and a fracture to the right ankle. I had a Richmond bolt inserted into my skull to monitor the swelling of my brain because of a closed head injury. In view of my uncontrolled blood loss, it was decided my pelvis should be plated. During this time, opportunity was taken to repair my lacerated bladder. I was given countless units of blood during my surgery. My parents and siblings were told to say goodbye to me as I wasn't expected to survive the night. It breaks my heart to think of the pain my family would have experienced that night. The following day, a right below knee amputation was performed. During my 4-week stay in ICU, I developed shock lung syndrome, was septicemic for a time and had pseudomembranous colitis. I developed a pressure sore on my sacrum and shoulder blade. Fortunately, my condition stabilised and I was transferred to the burns and trauma unit where I stayed for a further 2 weeks. I was then moved to the brain injury unit where I spent 5 months being rehabilitated and taught to walk again. A reconstruction of the left knee was performed to stabilise my knee. The problems with mobilisation were compounded by neurological injury. My right leg was partially paralysed and I had a drop foot on my left leg, which required me to wear an ankle foot support. I also wore a matrix brace to support the left knee. Bone would continue to grow on my right elbow joint, restricting movement. You could say I was the best out of a bad bunch on the ward and was fortunate enough to build great relationships with my nurses. 4 of my nurses, along with their partners, would take me to McDonald's for tea and then we would go to the movies, and after the movies we would go back to the nurses' units at Westmead Hospital and play Pictionary before being taken back to the ward. On the ward it was a similar story. I remember my nurses taking me to the cafeteria with them for morning tea, and we would sometimes order takeaway for dinner and get it delivered to the ward. It was during these occasions that I spoke to them about the possibility of one day becoming a nurse, just like them. Early 1993, I did the sensible thing and got an office job, working 3 days a week, which led into full-time employment. During that time, I still thought about becoming a nurse. I married in 1997 and have 2 beautiful children, now 13 and 8. However, every 5 years the urge to become a nurse would play on my mind. In 2011, when my office job became quiet, I thought it was the perfect time to make the transition from an office worker to a nurse. I started my Certificate 3 in aged care and was employed by an aged care facility. I soon developed a love for nursing and jumped at an opportunity to roll into the New South Wales Health RTO enrolled nurse course being run by the Centre of Education and Workforce Development at Callum Park in Rozelle. Talk about stepping out of your comfort zone. I'm a person who doesn't like to ask for help from anyone, and for me to be able to do this course, I had to ask family and friends for assistance to look after my children before and after school. I felt I was being selfish because I'd gone from being there for my kids to leaving home at 6 a.m. and getting home between 6 and 7 p.m. I chose to drive every day, planning to arrive between 7:30 and 8 a.m. to allow for traffic hold-ups. How times have changed. I went from sitting at the back of the classroom at high school, and now I'm sitting in the front row so I could hear everything our educators were teaching us. Some of the lectures were so foreign to me it was like our educators were speaking a foreign language. After one of Peter's chemistry lectures, I told Peter I didn't understand a word he said and would require extra help. Peter told me to go home and read over my notes and see if it made more sense. It did, and that marked the start of my new life, driving to Rozelle, sitting through lectures, taking as many notes as I could, and trying to process the truckloads of information that was being thrown at me. After class, I would study in the car at the traffic lights, pick up my kids from my mum's, cook dinner for the family, wash clothes, iron, help the kids with their homework, pack bags for the next day, and when the kids went to bed between 8 and 8:30 p.m, I would sit down, read over or rewrite my notes for 1 to 2 hours and then go to bed. Short-term pain for long-term gain was our family anthem. My clinical time was spent at Barwon District Hospital and I loved every minute of it. Walking into a hospital is like walking into another world where people are rushing around, speaking another language which only clinical people understand, and I couldn't wait to speak and understand that language. The nursing staff at Barrow Hospital were only too happy to answer any of my questions and blew me away with the support, understanding and kindness they showed me. At my graduation I was awarded a Clinical Excellence Award and I was so proud of myself. I was fortunate enough to be employed at Barrow Hospital working in the General Medical and Surgical Ward, and I'm also the relief pharmacy technician when Adam is away. I'm finally doing something I really love, and it's a real privilege to look after someone when they're feeling vulnerable and scared. Currently, I have applied to study the Bachelor of Nursing degree at the University of Western Sydney Macarthur campus so I can fulfil my next dream of becoming a registered nurse. I'm competitive by nature, and growing up I represented my school at state level athletics carnivals in the 4x100 metre relay. At the age of 13, my mum and dad bought me my first horse and I competed in show jumping and dressage. After my accident, I was fortunate enough to buy back a horse I previously owned, whom I trusted, and she gave me the confidence to start riding again. I continued to compete in local dressage events against mainstream riders, winning first place ribbons. I was fortunate enough to meet Julie Higgins, who won a gold medal in dressage at the Sydney 2000 Paralympic Games. In 2002, I strapped for Julie at the Riding for the Disabled Australian National Dressage Championships, which was held in Werribee, Victoria. I was also involved in Riding for the Disabled Carriage Driving, which was held at Barraway, where I learnt to drive a horse and carriage. When I was a child, I always wanted to water ski, but I wasn't given the opportunity. And after I was injured in the car accident, I remember lying in hospital thinking I'll never be able to water ski because of all the injuries I'd sustained. November 2007, I was given the opportunity to water ski on a disabled sit ski. I got up on my third start and I was instantly hooked. April 2008, I competed in my first Australian National Disabled Water Ski Championships, winning a gold medal in slalom. Currently, I'm a 5-times Australian slalom champion and 2-times Australian trick champion. I hold the Australian record for slalom and trick. August 2009, I was selected to represent Australia at the 2009 World Disabled Water Ski Championships being held in Vichy, France. 2 weeks before I was due to fly out, I fell ill and was hospitalised, being diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, and under medical advice I was unable to compete. It took me 6 months to regain my strength and start skiing again. 2011, I represented Australia at the World Disabled Water Ski Championships being held in Westchester, Ohio in America. I came home with a bronze medal in slalom. While I studied, we were a single income family. I stopped water skiing because we didn't have the money or the time to train. At the end of March this year, I competed at the Australian National Disabled Water Ski Championships, equalling my Australian record in slalom and 20 points off my Australian trick record. I won 2 gold medals and I was very pleased with my result considering the lack of training I was able to do. On the 19th of August this year, myself, my family and the Australian Disabled Water Ski team, which included 6 skiers, a team manager and assistant team manager, departed Sydney heading for Idroscalo and Milan, Italy, to represent Australia at the 2013 World Disabled Water Ski Championships. I won a bronze medal in slalom and Australia came 3rd out of 11 countries, so I received a team bronze medal as well. I really love water skiing because it's something I can do with my family and friends, and for that small amount of time I'm on the water, I don't feel disabled. From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank the South Western Sydney Local Health District for coming together to raise money that helped me get to Italy to represent my country in a sport that I love. Finally, I would like to say without the brilliant surgeons that worked on me the night I arrived at Westmead Hospital, who I still see today, and the caring nursing staff who cuddled and cried with me and gave me tough love when I needed it, I wouldn't have survived without them. And because of the love and support from my family and friends who gave me the confidence to know that if I fall, that they will be there to pick me up again, I wouldn't have been able to achieve what I have without them. I believe things happen for a reason, and if I wasn't injured in the car accident, I wouldn't have seen the places I've seen, met the people I've met, and had the opportunities I've had. I believe you have to make the best out of the hand you're dealt, and at the age of 16, life's too long to be sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. Thank you.
Belinda, your dedication and commitment is an inspiration for all of us. Thank you very much.